Now for one of the last things before the wine NOOK doors get installed is to make a faux ceiling. So we're going to be putting 1/2 inch MDF around these holes that we cut for the lights, and then doing like a drop ceiling. It's like a floating one. It's gonna be awesome. It's cooler than just like a drop ceiling. It's gonna look great. So I have this wood here to make it. It's gonna be super simple and hopefully not take me very much time.
To create the right size for the faux ceiling, I'm taking 3 1x6s and gluing them together.
Okay, now the lighting's weird in here because this can light is out. Steve opened it up to look in the walls and see how we can put some lights up here, because I want spotlights down on each row of the bottles. And I was gonna do like battery powered LEDs, but I really wanted to do them like fully integrated on a switch and everything. So we're gonna make that happen. I found these really great lights. Let me get them. I got these LED canless recessed lights. They're canless because they just kind of clip on the drywall, so you don't have to have a big amount of space, just in case it like runs into a stud or something. So it's super thin, and these clips right here clip onto the drywall. So very cool. And so we're gonna be installing 3 of those, so I have to find exactly where they're gonna go. Okay, so I have just some temporary lights just taped to the ceiling because it's not all wired yet, but just to kind of give us the effect. So there'll be 3 lights. I ran out of tape, so I couldn't do the 3rd one. But there'll be 3 lights, so we can see here. And then once you get to the shelf, well, that fell down. Once you get to the shelf, there's a big shadow. And there'll be these bottles, and then there's also gonna be some glasses. So it's not gonna look cute if it's all just dark. So let's tape that back up there and then show you what it looks like. So with the strip light, it looks much better, really nicely illuminated. I think that is gonna be perfect. The temperatures are not right on these. They don't go together, but it's just a setup to make sure this is what we're going for. So this looks awesome. We're gonna figure it out.
Steve basically fed a wire from the can light over to the center hole we drilled. They were both between the same joists, so that part was easy. Because of how we're going to create the ceiling with a drop ceiling, we don't need the wires to go into the drywall. So it looks kind of ugly, but they're going to be sitting on the outside for now. Once the boards were all dry from the glue up, I sanded everything down to be smooth and even. Then I applied a layer of wood conditioner to avoid any splotchiness with the stain, and then I stained it with the color Jacobine. All the supplies I used for this project are going to be linked down in the description.
Alright, now this board is stained. I'm going to be cutting some holes. The lights came with a template, this little circle. I found the very center of the board this way and this way. So I marked it here. Then I took the center of that, found the center of the circle. It kind of doesn't look center, but I'll double check it. And so I just traced a circle around here and then measured on the inside how far the wine racks are apart from each other in the center of those, which is right here. So if I measured everything correctly, it'll be perfectly lined up above the wine bottles. Let's hope.
We have a few hole saws, but none were the exact right size, so I used one to cut a size smaller and then used the router to carve out the rest.
Okay. The first
be covered up by this, as long as it fits. Let's see. Just have to bend these all the way back. Okay. Ooh, look at that. That is a snug fit. That looks good. Flush. Ow. Stop pinching me. Right, 2 more holes to do.
All right, so we got the lighting and wiring and all that stuff done. It looks kind of really ugly right now. Well, I'm just okay with it, but it looks like we're living in a decrepit house or something like that. Wires everywhere. But we ran the wiring from this halo light, pulled down that can, got into those wirings. It had a set of Wago connectors that are for 4 wires, so it easily allowed for a new wire lead to come in, plug into that Wago, and continue the circuit this way. This light is connected to a switch on the side, so that when we turn on this light for this entire area, so does the lighting inside of the wine nut. So the wiring comes over here to this center. It's connected to the lighting box up here, which plugs into the light here. These lights can be removed easily, like that. For access, repair, something goes wrong with this. And also because what we're gonna be doing here for this unseemly array of lights and such, is we're gonna be using some 1x here to attach to the joists here. Now the joists are what we're gonna attach to, but they're also the reason why we can't do it the way we were originally intending, which is why you see 3 holes, but the lights aren't in there. So the holes, first off, we drilled them too big, by like a 1/4 inch. So the lights just kind of fly through there, because they don't hold. But that was after we identified that we have, the joists running this way because there is the 2nd floor above us. No big deal. There's already holes in through the webbing, which is the appropriate way to get wiring through in the right spacing. But when we hit over here on this side, not sure if you can see that too clearly, on this far left side, it's actually the header for this main hallway above us. So this right here isn't a regular I-joist engineered through here. It's actually a double header that's sitting here, so we're not gonna notch that. We're not gonna carve into that. We're not gonna make a hole in it for any type of reason, seeing as how it's like the main structure holding up this edge of this entire walkway up here that gets you between one side of the house to the other side of the house upstairs. So what we did is we cut a hole next to it here so that the little electrical box for the lights can sit inside of the stairs up here still, and then we can use these 1x to make a frame alongside the holes and then put a false ceiling here and make it out of wood or do something nice. It gives us a chance to design it however we want to and add another fancy element to the wine nut. So right now it is fully wired the way it needs to be. So that's the next step, is installing this false ceiling. Don't DIY and settle for less than perfect. It's kind of the whole point, right? You're doing it yourself. If you want them to be perfectly centered that way, figure out a way to do it. Don't let some circumstance come in and, okay, I'll just move it in, and then you're unhappy with it. Then what was the point of doing it yourself? Get a professional at that point. Just do it the way you want it to work.
To create the box around these lights that the drop ceiling will attach to, we're using 1/2 inch MDF ripped down to about 3-inch strips. They're screwed into the studs, and now the drop ceiling will attach directly to this box. To attach the drop ceiling panel I created, we just used some construction adhesive and long brad nails. The hardest part about getting this up was just making sure it was all even on the sides and front and back. Now it's time for finishing touches, one of which are these wine glass holders. Steve's installing them on the bottom of the shelf for the glasses to hang below. The only thing we decided not to DIY in this wine nook were the doors. We looked into many options, and we finally decided that this would be a splurge for this project. We hired a local shower glass door company to create these custom doors for us. They turned out really beautiful and phenomenal. It's 1/2 inch thick glass with low iron. The low iron glass basically just means that it won't have a greenish tint. It'll be very crystal clear. Welcome to our new wine nook, custom made by yours truly. We spent several weeks transforming this little pocket in our home into a dream wine nook to display beautiful bottles of wine, glasses, and really just be a centerpiece when you walk into our home. We have videos on every single step of the process, including the faux brick panel walls, installing the wine pegs, and building the floating shelf. If you missed any of them, make sure you go check them out. Thank you for watching. I hope you had as much fun as we did with this project, and we'll see you next time.